Hey everybody, this is Mr. Storm, and in this video, I'm going to basically give you an introduction to the classroom. We're going to talk about how this class works and some of the things that you need to be aware of in order to be successful in this class. And if I'm talking too fast, it's because I'm very excited, and I'm really happy to have you here with me. So let's go ahead and get started. So it's really important that we start with the learning objectives, right? This is going to be in every week you're going to have something called the what, the why, and the how. And if you look at each week's homepage, you're going to see those listed. So what are you learning? Why is it important for you to learn it? And how are you going to prove that you've learned it so that you can move on to the next thing with confidence, right? And so for this week, the learning objectives are as follows. So what are you learning? Well, you're going to learn about this course and about the culture of this classroom. Why are you learning this? Well, because it's important. You want to be successful this semester, and so having this information is going to help you to do that. That starts with understanding how to learn, how to complete your assignments, and how to meet the expectations of the classroom. And how are you going to prove that you've learned this? Well, you're going to prove you've learned this by modeling this behavior in the classroom, by completing your assignments on time, by successfully navigating Canvas so that you can find all the resources that I've given to you. Basically just by being successful in this classroom, you're going to prove that you've paid attention this week and you understand what's expected of you. Okay. So a little bit of introduction. Oh, it looks like my face is covering up my face. Let me move myself over here for a moment. So a little bit about myself. My name is Mr. Storm. I've been married for many years as of the recording of this video, which is probably going to be out of date if you watch this in another year or so. Right now, I've been married for 15, 16 years, 17 years, depending on when you watch this video. I have two kids, Mikey and Katie. They both go to Utah Military Academy. They both love the school. Those are younger pictures of them, by the way, on that slide. They look much older, much more mature. I was in the United States Air Force for 10 years before I became a teacher. I was a radio frequency transmission systems supervisor, which meant I fixed radio equipment and satellite equipment. So my job was very heavy in engineering and science and math, all those things that you're learning. And I had a really big background in computer science as well. I've been creating video games since, I learned how to use a computer. I've been writing programs. I've been producing music, making movies. I write novels. I've published a couple of novels that you can borrow from me if you want to read some things that I've written, or if you want to buy one, they're on Amazon. But none of these things are possible without computers. And so, I at least for the way I do them, right? And so I love computers. I use computers to be creative, and I have tons of hobbies that all involve computers as well. I've been teaching at UMA for 8 years as of the recording in this video, and I plan on teaching there for much longer. So, I'm going to be at UMA until they finally get rid of me. All right, so that's about me. I went the wrong way. Oh, there we go. And let me move my face back over here so I'm not covering up good information. So I teach a lot of different classes. If you see the name of the class that you are taking on this slide, then you're in the right place. I teach a lot of different classes at UMA. All of them are focused on using computers to do cool things, right? Whether it's learning how to fix broken computers, or learning how to secure computers, or learning how to use computers to make video games, or learning how to use computers to make cool graphic designs, or a combination of all those things, or make websites, or whatever it is, right? I teach a lot of courses. So make sure that the course that you are in this class period is on this slide. Now, don't get confused. Don't look to the person next to you and say, hey, wait a second, you're in a different class than me. Am I in the right spot? Yes, you are. You're in the right spot. Okay. Most of my classes are taught via Canvas and using an online model that is self-paced, and we're going to explain a little bit more about that in a minute. But you do not have to be in the same class period as everyone else in my room at that time, right? Because you're going to be working independently on your own stuff. All right. Learning materials. So it's really important that you understand how to learn in this class, right? Presumably you don't know anything about the class that you're taking. You don't know any of the content, any of the material. You don't know how to do any of the things. That's where I step in, right? My job is to teach you. Now, the way most classes go is there's a textbook, and I will give you the textbook and I'll say read chapters 3 and 4 tonight, and we'll have a quiz on that, next time you come to class. That is not how this class runs. We do not have a textbook for this course. Everything is going to be taught online. There's no physical book that I'm ever going to hand you. There's no, I'll probably never even hand you a piece of paper, right? Everything is done using computers. So at the very least, you need to be comfortable enough with computers to check your email and to log into Canvas. Because all the learning materials are on Canvas themselves. So mostly it's taught in this fashion through video. Sometimes I'll write an article. Sometimes there's going to be a manipulative something for you to play around with on the internet. But for the most part, it's videos. So no textbook for the course. It's all usually videos and learning through example. Every lesson is going to be taught on Canvas. And all assignments are going to be turned in on Canvas, right? So you're going to be completing assignments on Canvas, turning them in, and I'm going to be grading them in Canvas and putting that grade in Canvas and our other system that we use to track grades as well. Make sure you become familiar with the Canvas platform. Now, there's a video on the home page of this course that kind of walks you through how my Canvas course is set up and gives you a little bit of an idea of how the philosophy of the course, if you will, works, and how you should navigate through the course and how you should check your grades and all that stuff. Get familiar with that. If you haven't watched that video yet, please go back and watch it. It's right there on the homepage. All assignments are due on Thursdays. So no matter what the assignment is, it will be due on Thursday night at midnight. Okay. I also update all grades every day. So if you turn in something, not every school day, right? And some days, I might get stuck doing something else or whatever, so I might be a day behind. But expect your grade to be updated within 48 hours if you turn it in during the week. I don't do any grading on the weekends unless I get really far behind, which is rare. On the weekends, I usually use that time to spend time hanging out with my wife and kids, or playing video games, or taking my dogs for walks, or whatever it is, right? So that's my time. If you turn something in on the weekend, it'll probably be graded Monday before I go home. But I grade pretty much every day. But your assignments are due on Thursday. If you turn in an assignment on Thursday, you can expect to see that grade put into the grade book before I go home on Friday afternoon. If you don't turn in the assignment on Thursday, you can expect a missing assignment to populate in Canvas and our other gradebook system before I go home Friday afternoon, right? So make sure that you are staying on top of your grades, because I definitely will be, all right? Now, how do you complete your coursework? All assignments, as I said before, are on Canvas. All assignments are on Canvas. All lessons are on Canvas, that kind of stuff. Now, there is a small exception. If you're in one of my test out courses, which if you're in one of those, you'll know, then most of that content is on test out. And we'll talk about that individually if you're in that position. But all of the required, all of the information that I give you on Canvas is required for you to interact with, unless it's explicitly stated as optional. Just assume that if I took the time to make it, if I took the time to produce it, record it, edit it, all that stuff, it's probably worth you paying attention to, right? And that goes for everything, even the weekly introductory videos that are only 2 minutes long. Those videos tell you exactly how you're going to complete your work for that week. So it's important that you pay attention to them. Now, you can work it through this material at your own pace. If you're a little bit faster than everybody else, great. If you're a little bit slower than everybody else, that's okay too. As long as we get all the work done by the end of the term, get it all turned in by the end of the term, we'll be fine. Now, every assignment does have a due date. Okay, so let's say you are running a little bit behind. You're a week behind, right? When you don't turn in your assignment on Thursday night at midnight, that assignment turns into a missing assignment, and it's going to drag your grade down, And you're going to be receiving emails from me saying, hey, what's going on? When are you going to get this assignment turned in? That kind of thing. So please make sure that you are turning in your work on time and you're staying with my schedule as closely as you can. Again, if you want to work ahead of my schedule, please feel free to do so. Make sure, it's actually kind of a good idea for you to get ahead of the schedule a little bit, because you never know when, next week's stuff is going to just be really difficult for you and it's going to take you a lot longer to do it than I expect, right? So, work ahead, make sure you're staying productive in the class every day you come to class and you're working on the content, right? One of my biggest pet peeves in teaching classes in this model is I'll see a kid not, doing what they're supposed to do. I'll see a cadet who's sitting at the computer watching YouTube videos or trying to play a video game or something, right? Which neither of those are allowed. And I'll come by and say, hey, can I help you find something to do? What should you be working on? And they say, well, Mr. Storm, I'm done for the week. I've done the work already for this week. Okay, start on next week. This is a self-paced course, right? You don't have to wait for me. If you're faster than my schedule, please go right ahead with next week's work. Get started, right? Get a jump on the next stuff that you have to do, because again, it may be more difficult than you expect. All right. Assignments are due on Thursdays, like I said before. Please don't miss that due date. And if you want to know what your score is going to be on an assignment before you turn it in, look at the rubric for the assignment. The rubric will break it down and will tell you exactly where your points come from. And you can be a little bit objective about your own work and say, yeah, I did really well on that area, so I expect to get full points. But here, maybe not so strong, so I might lose some points there. So you should be able to look at the rubric. And the rubrics are always right underneath the assignments in Canvas. So if you go to the assignment itself and click on it, if you scroll down, you'll see the rubric and a detailed breakdown for how many points you're going to get for that assignment. Okay. So again, you're responsible for your own schedule in my class. But I am going to be paying attention to what you're doing. And making sure you're sticking with the schedule. If you are not, then I will be sending emails pretty often to you and your parents saying, hey, you're a little bit behind. Here's what you need to do to get caught up. Please spend some time this weekend or whatever trying to get caught up so that you're with the rest of the class. You're encouraged to work through the schedule at your own pace, but try to meet those due dates if you possibly can. If you've completed your work for the day, you can move forward to the next week, like I said before, or you can find other learning opportunities. Let's say that you've completed all of the content for the class, you have nothing else to do in my class, and you still have time at the end of the term or the semester or whatever. Use this class as a study hall, right? Work on homework for your math class. Learn cool things on the internet, right? Obviously, there's a big difference between learning something and playing a video game, right? So we want to make sure we're staying productive. We're going to talk more about that later on. But there are certain things you're allowed to do whenever you're done with the work for my class, and others that you're not. Just make sure you know what that line is. Now, again, I don't assign homework, right? There's no do these 5 problems at home, right? Everything's due 11:59 on Thursday. So if you don't get the work done in class, then you might have to do it at home. This will allow you to finish your work and make sure you're on time. Please take advantage of the fact that I will allow you to turn in work at night. So any assignment not completed by the due date will be recorded as a 0. You can always turn in assignments late. Always. And I do not dock points for late submissions. I'm going to say that again because it's really important. If you turn in an assignment late, you will not lose any points on that assignment simply because it is late, right? You might lose points because you may not have done everything I expected in the assignment, but you will not lose points simply because it is late, right? There's no penalty for turning in late work in my class. Now, if you don't turn in the work, then you are going to be receiving emails pretty often. I send emails home to parents on a weekly basis. More often, if you're missing assignments, I'll send home emails, probably more often than every week, just to try to figure out, hey, this is important. When are you going to do it? When can I expect the assignment? That kind of thing. So please make sure you're sticking to those due dates, but don't feel like I missed the due date. I can't turn in the assignment because I'm not going to get any points on it. Or even better, let's say you turned in an assignment and you got half of the points on it because you missed half the assignment or whatever. You can always resubmit assignments after the due date to try to get more points on that assignment, right? So take a look at what scores you earned on your assignments and see which ones you can improve in order to get a better grade. All right. If it doesn't meet academic standards, high school academic standards, if there tons of spelling errors, tons of grammatical errors, if I just can't understand what's going on, or more likely, if you've turned in a file and I can't open it, or it was turned in incorrectly, or there was some technical issue, your score will still be logged in the gradebook as a 0, but you, again, still have the ability to resubmit assignments and try to turn those in. Accommodations. Most accommodations in my class are met just simply because of how this class is taught, right? Things like turning in assignments or extra time on an assignment. I give you I give you the whole term, basically. Things like test instructions read out loud. I have videos for every assignment explaining exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Really any accommodation that is general and applies to most students are going to be met by this course. But if there's one that I haven't accounted for, if I haven't given you, or if you have an accommodation that I haven't met in this class and we haven't talked about it specifically, about how we're going to deal with that, please let me know. Come talk to me. Advocate for yourself, right? This is your class. It's really not my class. It's your class. You are the one who's getting something out of this. You are the one who, at the end of this should have grown and changed and learned. And if you haven't done that, then I haven't done my job effectively. If you need something specific, please come talk to me. Let me know. And that goes for every kind of student, whether you are on an IEP or a 504 plan, or you're, a general education student who just needs a little extra help. Just let me know what I can do and I will help you. Okay? Perfect. Plagiarism. You would think that with computer programming classes or computer classes, design classes, web development classes, game development classes, that there wouldn't really be any plagiarism in that environment, but you'd be wrong. I have had students try to pass off work as their own work, work that they have not done. Please make sure that everything you turn in is your own work, right? And let's say, for example, I'm showing you how to do a very specific thing, and your end product is going to look exactly like mine, and I've shown you every single step. That's okay. I just want that end product to be something you have produced, because going through those steps is important. If I'm asking you to be creative on an assignment, please be creative. You can look for inspiration on the internet, but if you steal something someone else has done and give it to me as if it was your own work, that is plagiarism. If you are caught plagiarizing, you will receive a 0 on that assignment, and you will lose your ability to turn in that assignment in the future. Meaning, it will be a missing assignment in the gradebook. It won't be missing. It'll be marked as a 0, not a missing. Missing indicates that you have a chance to redo it. This will be marked as a 0, and you will lose your ability to make those points up. All right. This is also will get reported to administration, and then whatever they have to do on their end, that's up to them. Okay. I keep everything that's submitted. I have assignments that were submitted 3-4 years ago. So I have all of that stuff. And if I suspect that you plagiarize an assignment, I'll do the research and see if I can find it. If I can, we'll have a conversation about it. And, it's unfortunate, but it does happen. Please have integrity. Please don't try to pass off work that you did not do as work that you did do, right? Okay, perfect. And then the core classroom rules. We're going to talk in depth about these in the next video, but essentially the rules for our classroom are to be professional, be responsible, and be respectful. Those are the three core classroom rules. Now we also have the school's core values, which are integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. If you can follow those as your just baseline values that you follow, and then inside my classroom, if you can follow these three, professionalism, responsibility, and respectfulness, if you can follow those three values inside my classroom, then you will be solid. Everything, you won't have any problems at all. You're gonna have a good time. I'm gonna have a good time. I'm very excited. My voice is, excuse me, voice is getting scratchy. I've been doing a lot of talking this week, so I'm going to cut this video here. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.